Hello, I'm going to run through 3D printing an image using a slicer. I'm going to work with the Cura slicer program here and just using an image sample file here. It's going to come in, this is the image sample, and this is going to be the resulting model. So just run through the process of doing this. Start with just clearing the build platform here. Delete that out. So I'm going to do load, and I'm going to bring in this sample file. It's going to come up with a couple of things here for me for values. So the height is going to be 10. I'm going to stick with that. The base I'm going to make 5 millimeters there, and a couple of things here with the image. So I know that my image is 2400 by 2400 pixels. So if I'm looking at 300 dpi, so 300 dots per inch there, we're just going to divide that by 300. So this would be 8 inches by 8 inches, right? So times 25.4. So that should be about 203 millimeters, so 203.2. So I'm going to do copy on my keyboard here, Control C. I'm going to come over to the slicer window, the program here, and in the box here I'm going to paste in, Control V. Didn't seem to get it. Try that again. Control C. Control V. Having some trouble pasting. Control C. Should just go in there. There we are. Not sure what that stickiness was there. Usually pastes in no problem. So I'm going to leave this as the darker is higher. So if we look at that image file just briefly again, we'll see that the dark areas will be the highest. They will be extruded the highest. We've got a little bit of a gray area in here and this gray scale gradient in there. We'll come back and do another example of switching this. I'm just going to leave this no smoothing. Played with some of these other options here and they don't seem to work very well. Maybe a different resolution image or something, maybe they'll work a little bit better for, but with this they don't seem to help at all. Click OK. It'll be a moment and then it'll import or create the model. So there we have the model. You can see here we have this. What was black in the image is higher and then it's ramping down to the white here. So the border of the logo is black, all the text is black, the smiley faces here, we could see there was black in the middle, but there was a gray outline there. Just bring up that image there for a moment there. So gray outline here, but of course the black, the eyes being gray, so they're at a different elevation there, or a different height, extruded. So we can control the extrusion height of our model here with the grayscale colors. Just orbit this around here to have a little look. So one thing I want to point out there is that base value. So that base value we brought in is 5 millimeters. So that's this value right here, that height. And then the height of the extrusion for the model is 10. So all the text was gone from that base height here up 10. This ramp here, of course, ramps up to 10 there. So we have an overall height here of 15 millimeters. Zoom in here a little bit, make that a little bigger on the screen. So base height, or the total height, sorry, of 15 millimeters. So that's 5 millimeters here, plus the 10 millimeters here, should give a total height of 15. So I'm just going to orbit around here, change my orientation. And I'm just going to move this guy over a little bit. I'm going to bring in the model again, or bring in the image again, but this time I'm going to change one of the values. So I'm going to keep the height of 10, the base of 5, the width value is the same, but I'm going to change this so that the light or lighter is higher. So again, click OK, and it'll take a moment to import that. So there we are. Put it in there. So now we can see that the ramping here, I'll maybe orbit this way, help see. So this was the original. You can see that the dark was higher, right? But now we have the dark is lower. So it's ramping up to the white. That would be the highest extrusion. So going from this would be 0, ramping up to 10 millimeters, right? So 0 here, and this is 10. So we still have the same size of base here. If we look at that, right? Try to orbit here so you can have a better look. Zoom in a little bit. You can see that that base height is the same. This is 5 and 5, and this extrusion is 10. The only thing that was switched was that light or dark being the higher or lower values. And we can kind of see how that's happening then with the model that's created. All right, couple of things here. I'm just going to select on here. So if this is a negative, I can select the model and click the mirror button. I can mirror that. Same thing with this one here. If I need to mirror that, very easy to change that. So then I've got the negative of that. I'm just going to switch this guy back. So no mirror. And I'm going to remove this guy. I'm going to bring it in one more time, just changing that base value just to show the differences there. So bring this in. I'm going to keep all the values the same, except this base is going to be 10 now. So the width and depth the same. I'm going to keep this dark is higher. Click OK. And there we are. After a moment it comes in. So you can see now, it looks very similar, but I'm just going to orbit around this way so you can see a little clearer that the base, so now we have this base height here of 10, where this one we had a 5, so still 10 here, that extrusion from the base is still 10. So this one here with the base of 5, height of 10, total height of 15. This one, base of 10, extrusion height of 10, so a total height of 20. So 2 centimeters there, 20 millimeters. So I hope that helps illustrate a little bit of the workflow with being able to bring in an image and create a 3D model or print a 3D model from that. If you have any questions, please reach out. Other than that, have a great day.